Hello, welcome, episode 148 of Michael Lab Show. Before we go ahead and get started, um, let's all take a moment to go to the YouTube page of this podcast. Which, if you're listening to on YouTube, just exit out full screen. If you're in a full screen, just hit subscribe. That helps tremendously. Hit the notification bell, leave a like on the video. Also, go ahead and make sure you leave a rating on the podcast if you're on Apple. Subscribe and do all that fun stuff if you're not on Apple. Or if you're on Apple, do the same thing. My candle's burning. But yes, that obviously helps the page. That helps the page a lot. So, welcome. We are currently 10 days away from Christmas. Happy Tuesday. It is Monday for me, but happy Tuesday for everybody else that's listening to it. I need to stop time stamping my podcast. How was your weekend? It was a good weekend. I enjoyed it. It was a productive weekend, I feel like. It was a productive weekend for the world. I feel, I don't know. This could just be me. I think I'm very much I'm a optimist who tries to hide himself as pessimist. And I think a lot of that has to do with I'm really strange in the sense that I almost like having and this is really weird because this isn't a personality trait that I'm even solidified on and I'm even 100% sure on. And I don't know if I should be saying it. But I feel like I'm somebody who likes having an audience to speak to, and I don't know where I'm going with that. But I feel like we're starting to make some serious strides on this coronavirus vaccine. I do know a lot of states, including the one I live in, Maryland, did go ahead and add more restrictions, but I truly believe that we thought we were turning upwards back in June or July, August, September, that area, but we still, in reality, we still had an impending doom of the holidays, which I guess we still have Christmas upon us, but we still did not have any hope of a vaccine, so it was a weird type of, we just thought it was almost like we were just kind of forgetting about it in a sense. And I think at this point we're not doing that. Thank God. Instead, we have a vaccine, right? Where we have a vaccine, it's starting to get shipped. My state has some vaccines. I know the first lady was vaccinated yesterday in New York City in the hospitals, and it looks like we're finally at a point now where we're allowed to be optimistic people. So that's beautiful, and that makes me very happy to see that the world should be opening up, I don't know, within the next, a very aggressive prediction, I would say 3 months by March, but a more conservative answer, I would say middle of July, early August, we should be functioning as the country that we used to be. And I was talking to my barber today, by the way, did get a haircut. Mondays are the best days to get haircuts. I don't know. I'm really strange in the sense that I love Mondays. I look forward to Mondays so much to the point where I actually want the Sundays to be over quicker. Once I get off work, I'm like, okay, well, that was my event for the day. I'm going to watch some football, eat some food, and I'm going to eventually just be done. Like, I just want this to be done because Mondays it sounds so cheesy, but I love Mondays because I can go to the gym first thing in the morning. I work in the evening, so I guess that kind of makes it a little bit different. But I also wake up every day at like 5:30 anyway, so it doesn't, like, waking up early doesn't bother me. But I think a lot of people struggle with Mondays because they don't like what they do. I enjoy them because the market opens, and it sounds so cheesy, but it makes me I can look forward to something, right? And I love there's a few things I have going on right now, which I think I would definitely recommend for people to do this. Like add like tasks to your life. Like add like things that you can do every day to achieve a certain event. Like the running 200 miles thing. That is so fun for me because I know that every single day, a part of my day is going to be similar to the day before, but that part is not a treacherous routine because I enjoy it, and I know that once I hit 200 miles, I'm gonna be like, holy shit, I ran 200 miles, which in a month, which I never thought was possible. So that kind of gives me like a warm feeling inside, and I like Mondays. I can just feel like this overall sense of like I was thinking about this, like what if like individual humans are just we have organs, we have cells that make us up. But what if us as a human, we make up a bigger organism, and that organism is a liver, and then, you know, all the other plants are like a heart, and the brain is whatever, fungi, which would be, I think if all, like, we have plants, animals, I feel like fungi would definitely be the brain of the operations. Not humans, because I don't think we have the logic that we think we have, because we tend to look for ways to kill ourselves, and that's a very philosophical debate that you could have. But like, we blow each other up, we shoot and kill each other depending on what we believe in. We like killing each other, right? It's really weird. It's always been a thing. You know, this is my team, this is your team. I want to win my team. There's a lot of space for everybody, but I want to win my team. But I was thinking like, shit, I don't know what I was thinking. I was going way off track there. But yeah, I just feel like we, as a species right now, we're doing well, right? I feel like we're doing a lot better than we should be. Sorry about that. And I think people tend to forget, the goals thing. I think people tend to forget that usually it takes about 18 months to get a vaccine. The fact that we're here at a year and we're already getting a vaccine is incredible. I hope the YouTube doesn't like take down this video because of false advertisement, but I'm pretty sure it's happened. It's Tuesday. It's happened on Monday. People got the vaccine. People in my state have the vaccine already. I'm going to get the vaccine. I do know a lot of people are very I don't know what they are. I've been trying to wrap my head around the world that we currently live in in relating to coronavirus, because there's never been a heated debate on the common cold. There's never been a heated debate on the flu. There's never been a heated debate on cancer. There's never been a heated debate on pneumonia. There's never been a heated debate if you get a sickness, right? But the coronavirus has been such a aggressive, heated political platform, like so bad in the sense that if you see somebody not wearing a mask in a public area, people assume that they are they don't have any, like, they have broken morals, or they're trying to kill people. They don't care about people's lives because you might kill grandma. Or at the same time, if you wear your mask too much, or if you wear your mask over the top, people look at you as like a snobby, I think I'm better than everybody. And by the way, this is what I'm thinking, so I'm showing my biases, which is kind of ironic. But they look at you as like, oh, you think I'm better than anybody else. You're like a city slicker, stuff like that. And it's really weird to see. Jesus, I'm so sorry. It's so weird to see a virus take on that role. And I think as this virus has taken its toll on society, it's created a virus. And the virus that I think is going to be the second wave or third wave isn't going to be coronavirus. It's going to be the symptoms, or it's going to be the offspring of what this coronavirus has created. And what it has created is a divide between each other in such a strange and unique, polarizing way. And I think it's fascinating from my perspective, because I sit on the outside, and I was talking to somebody about this, and they were like, you by looking at you, I wouldn't expect you to be that person that would interact with that person. And I'm like, well, that's kind of weird. But like, I think so many people have these ideas of what they are and what they believe in and what they know is right and wrong. And it's whenever you get into that question of what is right and what is wrong, if you go into that question knowing that something is right and something is wrong, you've lost. You automatically are going to be in a position where whatever you say is not the right answer. Like even saying that killing people is wrong. Well, no, it's not wrong to kill somebody. And because by saying that you've looked at all the situations possible to come up in the entire world. Would it be wrong if we captured Adolf Hitler right on his rise to the top of, what he eventually become, just a absolute killer? What if we captured him and murdered him? Now, and I know that's a very that's an example of people say, well, yeah, besides that. Well, how many besides can you have? Joseph Stalin, the Vietnamese guy, Pol Pot, I don't know. There's a lot of dictators. Like, what if, like, those are a lot of examples. And if you killed those people before they rose to the greatest murderers of all time, if you killed them, you would have saved billions of people's lives. So by taking 10 or 15 people's lives, you saved billions of people, millions of people. Now, and that's my I think that's the biggest thing I see that's worrying me the most, is that people have retreated back to logic, or retreated from logic and retreated from using the part of the brain that allows you to think through things and accept other things, and we've just kind of buried ourselves on our side of our fence. Meanwhile, the other side of the fence has the other half of the country and the other half of the world thinks what they believe in is right and what they believe is wrong. They think they know what's wrong and they think they know what's right. Meanwhile, the other side of the world is like, well, what they think is right, I think is wrong. So how can we have these two very black and white, in theory, ideas, words that have no middle ground? When you say you're right, there's no middle ground with that word. There's no middle ground with wrong. So that lends itself to the creation of a society where there can be no progress. There's that word, not conspiracy, compromise. Duh, so stupid. A compromise. The idea of a compromise is we were taught that. We were taught that in order to have a good relationship, you need to learn how to compromise. Whenever you have a friendship, you need to learn how to compromise. And why do we say that? What is the undertoning of the word compromise? Why do people waste their time saying you need to learn how to compromise? Well, because we know instinctually that whatever our experiences are, whatever the world that we grew up in, it's not going to allow us to ever meet somebody where we're exactly on the same wavelength. So in order to avoid conflict with that person, in order to grow with that person, because that's what we want, right? What's worse than that is loneliness. We don't want loneliness. We have to find ourselves in a state where you can say something that I disagree with because of the world that I grew up in, the parents I had, or whatever experiences I have, and go like, okay, well, I may not agree with you. I may think that's wrong, but it's okay. It's okay because I understand where you're coming from. And this is when it gets really weird, because we have these very, very, very touchy subjects. That word, a touchy subject, those subjects need to be touched a lot. Right? Like this idea of touchy subjects, like I close my eyes, I hear touchy subjects. I think of like, cops killing minorities. I think of, wage gap. I think of capitalism, the production of Apple iPhones. I think of the contradictions, what I mean by that. I think of I don't know, maybe mask wearing. Well, these subjects, we call them touchy, which means that we shouldn't. By saying they're touchy means like it's like thinking of like a hot stove. Well, you just touch it real quick. You don't keep your hand on it. Well, no, we need to keep our hands on these ideas. We need to talk about the power structure that we've created in this world. We need to talk about this society created poverty that we have. We need to talk about these homeless issues that we have. And underneath of all that, I feel like the spearhead, the top of the spear right now is coronavirus. And it scares the shit out of me because I worry that even if we do get out of this, when we do get out of this and when things go back to normal, those things that at least were once touchy subjects are no longer even subjects. And I don't know about you guys, and I think a lot of people, I know for me, I like to tell myself, it doesn't affect you. But I think that's not the point. The point is someone like me, and I know a lot of people, probably a lot of people who listen to my podcast, you're somebody who is you sympathize with people, even if you don't per se want to, not because you're a bad person, but just because you have a bandwidth and you don't want to put it there. But it happens. It happens. I'm drawn to people who are under me. In the sense, not like saying I'm above people, but in the sense, if you look at it on the average, like I'm drawn, I desperately want to end the societal racism in this country because it exists. And by saying it's a touchy subject means you're not touching it. You're not talking about it. You're not sitting there for an hour-long conversation on multiple times a year with somebody who is educated in it, somebody who is the color of the race that you're talking about, or somebody who is an Hispanic, and you haven't actually listened to their side. And how can you fix an issue if you never take the time to even start building the bridge? You know, and I think this is a serious issue, and I think this is something that nobody wants to talk about. By me saying Donald Trump had some good ideas would be blasphemy for people. It would put people into a spiral. But I'm sure he had good ideas. You know, I don't know the numbers per se, but I do know the numbers for unemployment for minorities went down during his presidency. And I think, and even if that's the only thing he did, that's a huge deal because you got to think about the domino effect that has. Right? Unemployment, a dad who has 3 kids and was married, who's an African-American gentleman who for 8 years before it was so hard for him to find a job, the numbers go down. Therefore, they go down because that person times 1 million have found a job. You know, so I think it's really dangerous when people get their shields ready and immediately grab their swords and they're ready to fight the other person. I don't know what's right. I don't know what's wrong, but I do know what needs to happen. We need to continuously talk. Somebody who knows something that's right needs to find the person who talks about what they think is right oppositely as wrong, and they need to talk to each other. We need to start building a bridge, and the coronavirus has, for some reason, it was early on. It seemed like the idea of a party, a Democrat, Republican, Libertarian, whatever it is, it seemed like it finally started like fading away. Like, am I crazy? I feel like when I looked around, it didn't really matter what side of the fence you came on. We had this monster. This monster was coronavirus. This virus was, at the time, we didn't know what it was, but we did know it had the potential to kill people because we saw people die in China, in Italy. I don't know if you guys remember that, but they showed body bags coming out. And when it finally got here, the first case was in that nursing home up in Seattle. We still had this sense of, okay, I don't care if you're a Democrat, I don't care if you're a Republican. We are Americans, but more than that, we're humans. And I'm gonna put away all my biases so we can just go about this and get this thing done. But then somewhere along the line, it's just the floodgates just opened. And when they opened, there was just, instead of like darts being thrown at each other, people were just taking out AKs and spraying the other side down. and it led to just a complete divide of human civilization. And it also led to, and it created coronavirus, became the driving force of that. And I think this vaccine and like this idea that some people think coronavirus isn't even real, when I know personal people who've passed away, I know people who have family who's lost loved ones. I know somebody who was in a coma because of it. And then you hear these people say, well, yeah, well, it wasn't from coronavirus. Well, it's like, I don't understand how. Back to what I was saying. There's some things are right, some things are wrong that are factually based, but anything that has an opinion behind it is not right and is not wrong, because that's what an opinion is. It's a non-factual basis. It's a non-factual statement, right? That's what an opinion is. A factual statement is obviously a factual statement. I don't think provides something that is right or wrong. It just provides that it is truth. Truth, the sun heats the planet, right? That's truth. That's not an opinion, that's truth. It's so funny how the older I get, the things I think about in school that I thought were not important seem to be the most important things. And it's really fascinating. Like, I remember I read this book, right behind me. It's probably up there. I think it was, no, not 1984. It was with the pigs. Oh, Animal Farm. And that book was a book that I was told to read in I don't know, early high school, maybe middle school. And I didn't read it, but kids did read it in my class. And I think about those kids. I think about where they are in their lives, how they developed as an individual. Did that book make an impact on them? Is it too early for them to read it? But like I was saying, a lot of things that I think about in life are that I continuously think about in life are ideas that I learned in school. I think that's beautiful. I find that very very fascinating. But I don't know. That's just my spiel about that. I think we just need. I'm going to get the vaccine. I'm not afraid to get the vaccine. I've seen what COVID does. I know it won't affect me like that. It could, who knows? But I'm willing to take that risk, and I'm willing to get a vaccine. I mean, I don't get the flu vaccine, but that's because I've had the flu, and I don't mind having the flu. Oh God, any therapist out there is listening to this. I actually enjoy having the flu, and I know that's like, I think I went from speaking logic, and a lot of people like going like, yeah, that makes sense. I like what you're saying, blah blah blah. You're crossing both boundaries. That's really cool that you're saying that, to like, that guy's a crazy dude. Yeah, no, I weirdly enjoy the flu because I have a very aggressive body dysmorphia. I guess, I don't know, syndrome. I have body dysmorphia where I hate my body. Even when my body looks good, I still hate it. So like, when I have a flu, first of all, I like the idea of it's punishing my body because my body deserves it because it's ugly, which is, holy shit, that is deep. That is something that I could spend, a couple years with a therapist unpacking. Second, but we're not going to do that. We're just going to, skate on by because that's what we do. Holy candle residue. I might be able to share this story on here, or I may not be able to because, yeah, I might. I don't know. But anyways, yeah, I also like throwing up, which is weird. It's like shitting from my mouth. But I like shitting, so that I'm sure. I don't know. A lot of people. I don't know. This is why I probably am killing all my my prospects for career choices because of this show. But that's there's traction behind it, so may not even need that. But we might also need that. That's why I don't pick up cocaine, because I know I would be addicted to it. I don't know why I said that, but don't do. I've never done cocaine, but I feel like if I did do cocaine, I would have way too much fun. So I just don't pick it up. What was I talking about? Oh yeah, and you also lose weight, which I really like. I like the idea of losing weight. So yeah, I'm gonna take the vaccine. I'm whatever. Who cares, right? Take the vaccine. I don't know, or don't take the vaccine. Just do what you want to do. I don't think it's right or wrong if you do or don't, but I think, why not? Let's look up this. UFO. Just look up UFO. Texans aren't ready for the scientist says. That's hilarious. What does this say? Texans aren't ready for extraterrestrial reveal, scientist says. He has obviously never been here. That's what I want to look up. Israeli space program. Israeli. This is hilarious that this what I'm about to share to you, this article has not been like completely all over the news. I think this one, aliens or Galactic Federation exist. I don't know which one I want. Maybe like the OG one. Aliens are protesting in Israel. That's hilarious. I don't know what that means. Okay, let's just read this one. Maybe this is what's going on and nobody's talking about it. Okay, so this is from Fox 13, 6 days ago. Fox 13 in Salt Lake City. It's by Jeff Tavis. I'm going to read the article. Maybe not the whole thing, but actually I won't do this one because so many ads are everywhere. Jesus Christ. Why are there ads? I understand why there's ads. It's why I have ads in my podcast because I got to pay the bills, but Jesus Christ. Whatever. Okay. There's allegedly a galactic federation of alien species among the stars, and they don't want humans to be part of their club. That's hilarious. I wouldn't want us to be part of a club. Imagine we always like had these aliens like looking to kill us, but these aliens are so snobby, like flying over like, why are they dropping bombs on each country? Meanwhile, that bomb's gonna blow up the whole world, but they're worried about that one country. Like, what are they doing to each other? That doesn't make sense. Why would they do that? We literally blow each other up. Why are they shitting into the bay? Like, what are they doing? Wait, you're telling me they're just killing everything out of the ocean and not trying to like repurpose it, like replenish it? I mean, wait, you're telling me they're out there just digging oil out of the ground, pumping it in their car, shooting it in the sky, melting ice caps, and not trying to fix it? And instead of trying to fix it, they just revert back to electricity. Smart people. I love humans, by the way. I'm a fan of humanity. I love humans. I think we're cool people. I think we're capable people. I just think sometimes we just fall into our 4-year-old selves, which is fine. Whatever. A former head of Israel's military space program claims that extraterrestrials have made contact with officials in the United States and Israel over the years, but the aliens won't come out in public because they worry people will freak out. This is from Israel's military space program. A former head of it, by the way. In other words, they've done their homework. Humanity isn't ready, he says. Professor and retired Israeli General Haim. Names like that, they have like a at the beginning. That shirt is wild. That ad has to be tripping out. We need to get rid of that. Humanity isn't ready, Professor and retired Israeli General Haim Hashed said this week during an interview with the Hebrew language paper Hashid told the paper that aliens are already among us on Earth, and that several species have formed a galactic federation akin to the one seen in Star Trek, according to translations by the Jerusalem Post. Sounds like this dude did way too much DMT, and as he was doing DMT, he fell asleep watching Star Trek, and he somehow merged the reality of the world that we live in, and he just smushed it with the reality of Star Trek, and the thing that bridged those two realities was this DMT trip that he had. He also suggested that the U.S. and Israel have been collaborating with aliens on space travel for years, and that U.S. President Donald Trump was, quote, on the verge of revealing their existence. That would have been beautiful if Donald Trump. Imagine if they wouldn't. I mean, I don't think people would believe him, but it would be hard for me to believe him. But imagine if the day that what's the day? Inauguration Day 2021. Just want to get the date right. The 59th, January 20th. You can get tickets for it. Nice. Corona spread. January 20th, 2021. Imagine if January 20th, 2021. If if they meet in person. But imagine Donald Trump comes out before he shakes his hand to pass over the power, which, God, I hope he does. Jesus Christ, dude, sit down. If you want to run again, just run in 2024. Like, keep doing Adderall, stay alive, but, like, don't, what are you doing? Don't be dumb. Come on. What are you doing? You lost, bro. You lost. I don't understand, like, how he is still trying to say he won. Mail votes were valid. Mail votes are people. People vote. You lost. Joe Biden was a popular person. Like, do we not remember that Joe Biden was a vice president of Barack Obama? I'm being very objective here. But, like, he won because more people liked Joe Biden, or more people disliked Donald Trump than liked him. It's not a hard thing to conceptualize. I diverge. I digress, but it's just I don't understand. I don't know. Shad 87 spoke to the paper while promoting his upcoming book. Oh, that The Universe Beyond the Horizon. Okay, see, now that I know that he's promoting a book, I almost don't want to believe it because, yeah, if you're going to sell a book, say something crazy because it gets you more book sales. His claims are wide-ranging, earth-shaking, and unverified, and his credentials are hard to ignore. He previously served as a top official in Israel's military space program from 1981 until 2010. That's 29 years. At that point, after 10 years, you probably start drinking every night and doing shrooms because that job sounds very stressful. Therefore, you merge what you think about during the day with what you saw, and they become the same thing. And was responsible for the county's OFEC satellite project. Did you know that in this once again, another reason why aliens would never visit us because we're idiots. In this world that the only one that we live in, we have countries, I'm sure we fight on it, but India and China, I think India did it just last year. India blows up satellite. I swear to God, India did it just last year. As Engadigan reports, on March 27th, this year, 2020, India's Prime Minister Narendra Modi confirmed a missile test named Mission Shakti has successfully destroyed a satellite. The orbit of the satellite was thought to be low enough that all the debris created would fall back to Earth, but that assumption has not proved accurate. We shoot down satellites in this country just to prove that we have the technology to shoot things into space. Do you understand? Like, this is what we're dealing with. This is why I struggle so much holding grudges. First of all, holding grudges with people, and second of all, taking people so serious because the head of India was like, this is a good idea. Let's see if my councilmen are down for it. Mr. Modi was like, wonder if my board or my house or whatever, my cabinet would be like down for this. And I don't know if he like scares the shit out of them, but they all collectively agree to take a missile, which costs probably millions of dollars to make, which that money comes from taxes from the people, and blow up a satellite that we have in space that we made. And just first of all, we care about Earth, right? Well, at least we say we do. Like, don't pollute the Earth if you drink a soda can, or if you throw something in, if like using a straw is like killing a turtle. Like, we care, like we put on the show that we care. But meanwhile, we just shoot missiles, blow them up in space, and we just leave the debris up there. There's a flying around. We're gonna have acid rain one day, and the GPS pieces are gonna be breaking, like landing on our heads. You're gonna have like little like clock pieces and like digital plastic coverings just shooting us in the brain when there's a hurricane season next season. Because what do we do in our spare time? Our little countries like to blow shit up. We shoot missiles. We're like chimps. Why do we have this much power? We shouldn't have this much power. It's not good for humanity. We're gonna end ourselves eventually. That's okay though. It's exciting. At least it makes it for an exciting life. Etched did not provide specifics about Trump's supposed near slip, but the president did speak about the issues earlier this year. Trump claimed in June that he had heard very interesting things about Roswell, the New Mexico City, for an alleged UFO event in 1947. Now, the thing is with Trump, I don't know. He could just be a provocateur and just saying this so people couldn't lose their minds because that's what he does. That excites him. He's a celebrity, and then he's a president. He's a celebrity first, president second. I won't talk to you about what I know about it, but it's very interesting. Hilarious thing to say. Another reason why you should just turn around before he leaves and just pop it. Just let everyone lose their minds. The president has used similar language in the past to tease other bits of supposed secret knowledge, including his false claims of election fraud in recent weeks. That's what I just said. Trump has not made any specific revelations about aliens during his term, but he found the Space Force as a new branch of the U.S. military. That's fascinating. The U.S. Space Force thing it's pretty fascinating, but I also think that more for it to protect us against aliens, it might be used for us to try to find extraterrestrial life because maybe it's a threat, but also I think it's to detect meteorites before they blow us up. Because I think there's a meteorite that's supposed to kill us, or asteroid of 2068. There's an asteroid that's scheduled to kill us, blow up the planet on the risk listed date of April 12th, 2068. Apophis could be more than 1.5 AUs, 220 million kilometers, 140 million miles from Earth, making the asteroid further than the sun. On April 12th, 2068, the odds of impact are 1 in 150,000, in large part because of the line of variation. So, it's pretty low, but this asteroid would take us out. There are 10 possible dates for the rock Apophis could hit, according to NASA. On each date, the asteroid is expected to make a close pass on our planet, but a slight change in its trajectory could spell disaster. Asteroid would hit with 1.2 million kilotons of kinetic energy. That sounds like a lot. For comparison, the atomic bomb dropped on Hiroshima in 1945 exploded with a force of 15 kilotons. Holy shit. That would blow up the whole world. Impact would decimate an area of thousands of square miles. That's it? Huh. Would have a 3.2 mile crater. That's absurd. It had a 5K crater. The dates are April 12th, 2060, April 11th, 2065, April 12th, 2068, October 15th, 2068, 2076, 77, 78, 89, 91, and 2001. Yeah, we have a lot of things to worry about. His government also revealed earlier this year that 3 previously leaked videos of unidentified aerial phenomena were legitimate, though they did not specify the nature of the objects. That's a fascinating one. That's by General Fravor, or Captain Fraser. Assad claimed that aliens have already helped the U.S. and Israel set up an underground base on Mars. See, this is when I start going, hey man, if you're just promoting, you could have stopped at the beginning. I also don't know if people are ever going to be ready for this. And if this is true, I don't know if you should talk about it. Maybe I don't know. But apparently he's saying that the aliens have helped Israel. And why Israel and U.S.? Why not any other country? Do they not like Chinese? They wouldn't know if they don't like Chinese. They probably don't care. They're probably just like, well, your eyes are different than their eyes. Or your skin's different than their skin. They probably don't even notice. Like, skin is a word that we use. They probably don't even pay attention to that stuff. They probably just talk to each other's brains. It's like, whoa, that person has a weird prefrontal cortex. I sense less activation in the amygdala. That person's a sociopath. Oh my God, that person's biting their fingernails. They must have an overly active amygdala. And they are waiting for humans to reach a stage where we understand what space and spaceships are. We understand what they are already, so they obviously haven't been watching our TV and movies lately. That's funny. Ashad told the paper that he was coming out with his claims now because academia has been more open to such ideas. If I had come up with what I'm saying today 5 years ago, I would have been hospitalized. You still should be. He said today, they're already talking differently. I have nothing to lose. I've received my degrees and awards. I am respected in universities abroad where the trend is also changing. I want to see what this guy looks like. That guy's funny. This guy put a meme up on Twitter. He said, why wouldn't we be ready for a Galactic Federation? Me. Moshe's around to everything. That's hilarious. Earth. Can we join the Galactic Federation? The Galactic Federation. Just a bunch of white girls in college. I want to see what this person looks like. What's his name? Hamid Hashad. I hope that's not. I don't want to be offensive. I just thought it was funny to say it like that. Dude looks stable. Yeah, he looks stable as hell. Now Trump on the other hand doesn't look stable. Yeah, this guy looks stable. He doesn't look like an absolute crazy person. Rogan shot him on his podcast. What's his book? I might read it. That'd be hilarious. The Universe Beyond the Horizon. This is the book. Published in 2020 November. Is it on Amazon? I might have to buy it and read it. Haha. That'd be hilarious. I'll let you guys know what I think about it. I don't know. I can't find the book, but I digress. Basically, what I'm trying to say here in this episode is get your hair cut on Sundays or Mondays. It's a good time. Let's stop being so aggressive towards each other. Just remember that we're all people and we just trying to die a less dreadful way. And let's just keep loving each other. But I love you guys, and you guys are the best. And I think I have the best support group I could have, literally in my life, like personally, people close to me, friends, family, coworkers. Just it's a good time to be alive. It's a good time. It's a rough time. It's a hard time, but I think these times make us appreciate the times where we don't have. Like, you remember those days where we didn't have to worry about bringing a mask, where we didn't have to worry about everything, But those days are coming around soon. In my opinion, they'll be here before we know it. But I love you guys. Thank you so much for listening to the Michael Lab Show. I'll catch you guys in episode 149. 149, almost to 150. That's nuts. My hair looks good. I love you guys. I'll catch you then. Enjoy your Tuesday and Wednesday. I'll catch you guys Thursday. Peace out.